At 23, I got the call. Scotty was ambushed by a suicide car bomb. When I showed up here at Walter Reed, Scotty was in a coma, his eyes pierced by shrapnel. Amongst the chaos and uncertainty, I experienced government dysfunction for the first time. I'm Tiffany Smiley, and when the DC bureaucracy tried to push us around, I fought back and won. Since that day, I have dedicated my life to changing how the government works for veterans and their families from the outside.
I love it. Welcome back, everybody, to this latest edition of Just the News, No Noise. Our next guest has been absolutely tireless in her pursuit of helping veterans, and it all started with her husband, Scotty Smiley, who was injured while fighting for our country in Iraq. Now she is running for Congress in Washington state to stand up for our veterans inside of government instead of outside. So joining us now, that beautiful face that you just saw on the screen, she is the Republican congressional candidate for Washington state's 4th District, and she is a former triage nurse and a veterans advocate. Tiffany Smiley joins us now. Tiffany, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it and giving me that intro. You know, our country is only great because of those who serve and sacrifice, so courageously for it. True. So thank you.
Absolutely. And I want to start with your story because I think that it's such a beautiful story and people connect to you on that level. So give us a little bit of a precursor.
Yes, at 23 years old, I was just a farm girl from Pasco, Washington, who, wanted to be a nurse. And all of that changed when I showed up at Walter Reed to fight for my husband. And I'll never forget it. It was extremely hard and traumatic to be at Walter Reed in 2005. It was some of the heaviest fighting that our country was seeing. We were well into Afghanistan and Iraq, so casualties were coming in every day. And I would walk the halls in the evening and I would see soldiers alone. Some had families, some families left, some spouses left. And it just broke my heart. I knew I could be an advocate for Scotty, but what about everyone else? And so I had this moment at 23 where I broke down. I was crying. I was hurt. And I knew that I could help Scotty, but then I knew then someday I could come back and make it right for everyone else. So it's time. It's time to stand up for our country. It's time to stand up for those who so courageously serve our country and have sacrificed. My first wedding anniversary, me and Scotty's first wedding anniversary, we spent apart. He was in Iraq. And unfortunately, on that day, I learned that my friend lost her husband and has raised her children by herself. These are the things that we experienced at a very young age. And then to see what's happening in our country today, to see how veterans are treated, how their families are treated, is absolutely unacceptable. So it's time to get patriots in office and those who aren't afraid to stand up and fight for what's right.
It is an amazing story. It inspires so many people, Tiffany. And I think during the Trump years, there were some pretty significant improvements to the VA and to the medical care system, the military hospital system and the VA. But I hear so much in the last 18 months, people saying things are backsliding, things are going backwards. It's not the same. How did we lose that traction and how do we get it fixed? Where here we are on Memorial Day, we want people to have the best care when they cared for us on the front lines of war. What's going astray and how do we get it fixed?
Yes, President Trump put veterans as a #1 priority. There was a hotline where you could call the White House and have your concerns answered. He understood also, which I think is so important, that it wasn't just the veteran, but the whole family. This affects the whole family. I resigned from my job. I didn't go back to nursing for years later. Your whole livelihood is affected. And President Trump really understood that. And he understood that we had to cut through the red tape and the bureaucracy to deliver for the customer, that customer being our American heroes and those who serve. So he understood that on a really real level. Unfortunately, a lot of those policies have backslid under the Biden administration. We are, no longer a priority. It's sort of back to the same old status quo. And our family will not sit back and watch status quo prevail. For us in this fight, for the 4th Congressional District in Washington State. Me and Scotty are in this together. Of course, there's just one of us running, but we are a team effort again, because we want to leave our 3 boys an America worth giving their eyesight for. And it will take a lot of work, but I have no doubt under President Trump's presidency, his policies, that we will roll back the red tape, we will cut through it, and we will make sure that this country, that the VA delivers everything and more to our veterans and their families.
So important.
I love that. And, you know, especially as we are observing Memorial Day, veterans issues are at the top of the list for a lot of Americans. But, I mean, gosh, it feels like triage is necessary, which you have experience in with respect to our economy, the border, and the list goes on and on. For Washington's 4th District, what do you hear as you are walking around talking to constituents?
You know, they are extremely worried about the border. Every county in the 4th District is a border county. We have young kids who are overdosing on fentanyl. Our children now know what Narcan is. It's in every single school, but that is not the solution. You know, unfortunately, Dan Newhouse, who voted to impeach President Trump and supported invoking the 25th Amendment on President Trump, also in 2021, voted for amnesty for 3 million illegals. So he hates President Trump and he's not willing to secure the border. I believe the number one priority, and the voters all across the 4th District have talked with me about this, is securing our border immediately. We have got to stop the invasion that is happening and stop the flow of fentanyl from coming in to our district. That is bottom line. We know that President Trump's policies worked. We need him to get into office so we can protect our children in school and protect our families in the 4th Congressional District. You know, on top of that, you have drugs coming in, you have an invasion at the border. We also have an economy that is not working. It is not working for the hard-working families in the 4th District. I look forward to unleashing American energy independence, and I know Donald Trump will do this because he's done it before, to boost our economy, to lower gas prices and decrease the cost of gas and food and consumer goods for people all across Washington state in this country. There is a lot of work to be done, and that is exactly why we need to make sure that we are electing strong patriots who understand what's at stake in this election. You know, for me and Scotty, we know it's our children, it's their future. This election is so important because we know that America has the policies that work. President Trump has the policies that will work to get this country back on track.
Tiffany, how big, I mean, we got about 45 seconds left. How big is the Trump impeachment vote going to be in this primary race against Dan Newhouse?
The people of the 4th District are not happy. Dan Newhouse let us down. We are a God-fearing, the 4th District loves America and loves Trump. And they know that his policies work, and that's exactly what they want. You know, Dan Newhouse has put our district in a very vulnerable position. He is not going to be able to legislate with President Trump, and that's exactly why I got in this race. We have issues in the 4th District that will require executive branch intervention, and Dan Newhouse has let us down.
Yeah.
Tiffany, D-Day for that is August 6th. Is that the primary? And it's a jungle primary, right?
August 6th.
Fantastic. Tell everybody where they can find out more about your campaign.
Yes, join us at TiffanySmileyForCongress.com, all spelled out. Everyone can chip in and join the fight. This is about our future, this is about our country, and this is about preserving the American dream for generations to come.
Amen. Tiffany Smiley, thank you so much for being here. And don't go anywhere to all of you because we've got more of our Memorial Day special coming up after this very quick commercial break.